Okay, the other question I'm going through is question 10. So for part A, right, you are asked to use this substitution. Okay, this substitution here. So first thing that you need to know is that U, okay, can be expressed in terms of x, right? U is in terms of x, okay, and correspondingly, of course, y can also be expressed in terms of x, okay. But we also need to notice that actually, okay, the question is given as a dy dx is equals to this expression on the right hand side, this expression here, okay. So we need to create a dy dx from here so that I can use whatever I've created based on this u equals to y over x, okay, that dy dx, okay, I can substitute into this dy dx here, okay. So the main aim is to create, okay, dy dx from u equals to y over x, okay. But I also need you to see something. It is not easy to differentiate u since u is expressed as y over x, okay. So maybe to make things easier, I could re-express this as y equals to ux. So instead of quotient rule, all I have to do is apply the product rule. So differentiating u, I have du dx. Remember I said u could be expressed in terms of x, and x plus differentiating x, I have 1 times u, okay. So which basically gives me this part here, okay. So once I've gotten this dy dx, all I have to do is sub in. So I've substituted in here and then simplify, right? So simplifying, I get this. It's not a problem, okay. One thing that you need to take note of for the second part is that integrating 1 over u squared plus 1 is well done. This is also well done, ln mod x, okay. But I need to see that, okay, hey, x is actually defined to be always positive, so mod is not necessary, the modulus is not necessary. Remove it and then just do our, okay, apply tangent to the right, to both sides, okay, so that eventually I get a y term, since question asks us to find y in terms of x. Okay, for part B, right, the first part is asking us to interpret the coordinates of A in the context of the question. So I need you to see that, hey, the values stated is important. So, okay, first thing I need you to have is the values. So here, values, and also the fact that A is a point where curve 1 and curve 2 intersects. So it is important that I see, okay, this idea of production and consumption, okay, and it is exactly where everything produced is bought by consumers, okay. So this is for part 1. For part 2, okay, you're asked to solve for the equation C1 and C2 expressing Q in terms of P, okay. So this, all the working here are simple. I just need you to pay attention to express your Q in terms of P. No X and no, there are no X and no Y in the question. Okay, there are no X and no Y in the question. Okay, and the next part, we are given that shortage occurs when the quantity of rice consumers will buy exceeds the quantity of rice producers will produce, right? Okay, so I know that shortage is an idea of involving quantity, okay? But you will have to see that, hey, the question is asking us to show the solution curve where expressing P in terms of T, okay? So I have dP dt, since the rate of change of P after T months is directly proportional to the quantity of rice in shortage, right? So given that I have dP over dt, I need to express my quantity consumed by consumers, my quantity produced by producers, right? I need this QC and QP to be expressed in terms of P. So one common mistake is that many of you expressed it in terms of Q and are not able to continue anymore. Okay, so once you have expressed in terms of P, okay, the next part is just integration. Alright, and of course, even before that, you have to notice that you will have to add in your constant of proportionality. Okay, so integrating here, okay, what this approach is using is to see that, hey, this is actually a f prime x over fx after manipulation. Okay, some of you spend time doing partial fractions. You, from this 4p over 16 minus p square, you see it as a partial fraction and attempt to express it in partial fractions. Okay, so basically you would have a big A over 4 minus p, okay, and you have a big B over 4 plus p. Okay, and you spend a lot of time finding the partial fractions, integrating, and combining again. Okay, so if you see that it is f prime x over fx, all you have to do is you apply your formula and then you will be able to get the integral. Okay, once you have gotten the integral, okay, good thing is many of you know you have to sub in the two conditions, right? T equals to 0 and you have your T equals to 1, the respective P price. Okay, but do not, I repeat, do not sub in your T and your values here. Do not sub in at this stage. Okay, do not sub T equals to 0, T equals to 1. Do not sub in here. Okay, the reason is very simple. If you sub in here, it means that you will have to solve, and then you have to work things out and reject one of the solutions that you get, if you manage to get one. Okay, so likewise, even after you have opened up your ln, okay, remove your ln by applying exponential, okay, you still have your plus minus. Do not, again I repeat, okay, do not sub in your T and P values here. you will have to again solve, okay, and you will find that there's no solution for one of the t and p values. Okay, so you need to see that to make your life easier, okay, all you have to do is re-express all the unknown, okay, terms involving the unknowns, right, which I could lump it here. Let a be equals to plus minus e to the power negative c over 2, and let b be negative k3 over 2. Okay, I re-express them as a and b's, which are unknowns, and only when you have such a simplified expression, you solve, right? You solve for your t equals to 0, p equals to 3, t equals to 1, p equals to 3.65. Okay, so solving this, you should be able to get that b is this, negative 0.961, and this should be your final answer. Okay, I need to pay attention that just like any other math problem that you solve, your answer needs to be simplified. Alright, so a very, very common mistake is to express your answer as 16 minus 7 times e power ln 0.3825. Okay, t. Okay, so clearly you can see that e ln 0.3825 is not the simplest form. Okay, please simplify it to 60 minus 7 and 0.3825 t. This is the simplest form. And the second last part is asking us to sketch out the solution curve. Okay, and generally those who manage to get the correct equation can get the solution curve right. Okay, so I just need to point out that the asymptote, okay, some of you missed out this asymptote here. Okay, but otherwise the shape and the intercepts, they are clearly indicated. So let's look at the last part. The last part is asking us to suggest why instead of using what is given, right, this C2 here, instead of using this, okay, by producers would be using this instead. Okay, so if you look carefully at the two lines, I mean, okay, let's reason it out this way. Okay, so when if you look at the right hand side curve, this curve here, right, this is our proposed curve. Okay, production here, from here onwards, right, occurs only when the price is above A. So production occurs only when price is bigger than A. Okay, so if you think about it in the real world, okay, why would this be the case? And often it would be the case. Okay, so it simply means that there's a certain cost to production, right, such that we have to cover it in order for production to start. Okay, so basically this part is telling us, okay, that rice production will only occur if the price is able to at least cover A. Okay, and of course in the real world this A would be the initial cost of investment.